Hello, this is Spartacus here, and welcome to another video where today I got some Infinite Warfare beta gameplay playing on the map Terminal, which I guess they kept the name the same from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 because Modern Warfare 3 they did bring it back in that game. But I'm going to be talking about the bad things of Infinite Warfare. What are the bad things that I think are Infinite Warfare? I did make a video before this of the good things, and I gave my opinions of the good things on Infinite Warfare. Now I'm going to be doing the bad things, things I do not like about Infinite Warfare. So anyway, we're just gonna get right into the video. And so the first thing I just want to tell you guys that the first thing I do not like in the multiplayer beta, and it wasn't just in the multiplayer beta, this is something that I know for a fact that's going to be in the actual game, and that's the camos and the variety of camos they have for the weapons. And the camos are just absolutely horrible. They were so freaking lazy making these camos. Oh my god, Call of Duty Ghost had better camos than these. Like, it's just, oh my god, these are terrible. Like, they're just, like, there's like some camos that are just plain pink. Like, there's nothing else on them. They're just plain pink. And like, if you put a pink camo on like a sniper, for example, the pink camo would even overlay over the lens in the main menu. It's just, it's just really, really bad looking. It's just terrible. And like, then they have like a green camo with like the same type of pattern on it. It just looks horrible as well. It's just not creative camos. I just cannot stress enough how horrible they look. And when you earn camos for weapons in the game, those camos are all the exact same pattern too. There's just those different patterns are just like different colors, and it's just terrible. And I don't even know if there's gold camo in the game. Like, is there even going to be gold camo in the game? If there is gold camo in the game, then they better make it look good, because Call of Duty Ghost gold camo looked absolutely like crap. It looked terrible. And when I say variety of camos, like, so you can get camos through supply drops, I do believe, and you can get them for your weapons, and there's just not a lot of variety of the supply drop camos that are available to us. Now, of course, the beta, it didn't give us very many. Maybe there'll be more in the full game, but from what we've seen in the beta, it looked like that there wasn't a lot of different camos you can get out of supply drops to actually like apply to your weapon, and they actually had a list of all of them. You can even like scroll through all of them and see what they are. And so that was just something that really disappointed me. I'm just so disappointed that the camos are terrible, because camos have honestly kind of became a big deal ever since Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, they added these DLC camos that just looked absolutely amazing, and not to mention that was the very first Call of Duty game you can earn diamond camo in, and people would grind for all that kind of stuff. And so this game, I just don't see that, and that's really disappointing. So the next thing I want to say is actually the time to kill. Now, this is something that really isn't too big of a deal. I do know a lot of people back in Call of Duty Ghosts did not like this. It seems like it's the same time to kill that we see back in Call of Duty Ghosts. It's a fast time to kill, so you're going to be dying easier, or you're going to be killing enemies a lot easier, depending if you're even using an automatic weapon, a semi-automatic weapon. I don't know. That really doesn't matter. But yeah, you see, the time to kill is like if you compare it to Black Ops 3 or even Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2 I will admit had a high time to kill though. So I don't know. The time to kill seems really fast, like if you just compare it to previous Call of Duty games, and I don't really like that, because if someone's shooting behind my back, my reflexes won't be fast enough to actually turn around and try and dodge his bullets and try to get the kill instead of him trying to kill me, because that's something I can do in Black Ops 2, or not just necessarily Black Ops 2, but in Black Ops 3 actually. I'm able to actually turn around and actually get the kill and just totally wreck the guy. But in Infinite Warfare, it seems like I'm not able to do that. I'm not able to actually like have those fast reflexes and trying to get the kill. And not to mention, sometimes when I'm like, and I really hate this. I mean, this is a problem that we see in every Call of Duty game. Like, everybody complains about it, but it's really not that huge of a deal. Is I really hate it when you're the first person to start shooting, and then even though like you're the first one to start shooting, you still die, and it just really bothers me. Of course, it depends what the other enemy has. You could have a shotgun and you're at close range and you're using a submachine gun or something. I don't know. Just really all depends. But I really hate it. And that's why I've seen a lot in Infinite Warfare. I've seen a lot where I've shot first, but I would die first. I'd be the one dead, and it's just, I just hate those. I just hate it when that happens, and it seems like that happens too much. And the next thing I want to talk about is the multiplayer maps. So the Terminal multiplayer map, I will admit, I've never really been a big fan of Terminal. I don't know. Terminal is just not my forte. I've never really liked it back in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. It never played very well. People would spawn trap so easily on that map. Like, spawn trapping is so easy on Terminal, and they just brought it back, and so people spawn trap again. And not to mention the spawns aren't very good on that map either. I mean, obviously, if I'm mentioning that people are spawn trapping all the time. And it's not just that map, of course the other maps that we've never seen before. This one map called Frontier, or it's Frontline. I can't remember. There's a game mode either called Frontline or Frontier, and I know there's a map either called Frontier or Frontline. I know I played that game mode on that same map, and I can't remember which it was what. But anyway, the map I'm thinking of in the beta is the one where it's indoors. Like, I just hate it. I hate that. I hate indoor maps. They're just terrible. Where do you see any Call of Duty multiplayer map that's only indoors? Where? Like, seriously, I do not see any Call of Duty multiplayer maps that are only indoors. Now, there are multiplayer maps out there that are like mostly indoors and people stay indoors most of the time, but back in Call of Duty Ghosts, I remember there's this one map I cannot remember the name of. How can I not remember the name of this map? But anyway, in that map, it was like all indoors, even though you could get kills with like air kill streaks easier on that map than you could on this map in Infinite Warfare. The thing I'm getting at here is the reason why I don't like indoor maps is because air kill streaks, like if you're calling an attack helicopter or a Thor, like that's like kind of an AC-130 in Infinite Warfare, it's totally useless on this map. It's completely useless on this map. I just hate that map so much. I don't even know if it's Frontline or Frontier. It's either one of those names. But that map is just absolutely terrible because if you call in like those oh my gosh, I have Scorchers, I believe they're called. You call them the Scorchers kill streaks. They don't even, you might be able to get a kill. There are some areas of the map where you might be able to get some kills, but other than that, there's no way you can get kills. Like your attack chopper, whatever the hell it's called in this game, you won't be able to get any kills because it's all indoors. Like there's just, I just hate indoor maps. They're terrible because your air kill streaks won't do anything at all. Just terrible. I hate it so much. So anyway, let's go on to the next thing here. Now this isn't really that big of a deal, but as a YouTuber, as a creator of content, a content creator, I could not think of the name for a second, but as a content creator who makes videos on YouTube, who makes Call of Duty videos for God's sakes, they add this quote-unquote blur effect. Now, I don't know if this is actually called a blur effect, but that's really what it is. And I don't really have any example to give you guys because I actually disabled this in the menu, which is a good thing. I'm glad that you can actually disable this in the menu. And what it did is that when you're like moving really fast, when you reload, if you notice carefully, that actually adds like this little blur to when you're playing the game. And I don't like that. And the reason why they add this little blur effect every time you move around and reload your gun, whatever, right? The reason why they add this blur effect is because it wanted to add like a more theater actual or like a movie, I don't know, like some type of like cinematic experience, you could say. And so like that they wanted to see that will add like a cinematic experience, but they did make it where you can disable that in the game, which is good because as a content creator and I'm editing videos and stuff like that, it just does not look good on YouTube. And so I'm glad you're able to disable that, but I'm disappointed that they even thought of this in the first place. Like from all the things they could have thought of, they thought of a blur. Like no other Call of Duty game, like they tried to avoid that. They tried to avoid the blur. But they just add it into the game, which I don't know if I don't really like that at all, especially for someone who makes YouTube videos. But of course I can disable it, so I mean it's not really too big of a deal. But that's just something I really want to point out there. The next thing I want to mention, now I know it doesn't like. This really shouldn't mean anything, but I just want to say it anyway, is the graphics, the textures that we have in Infinite Warfare. And I know like textures and graphics doesn't make up a good video game, right? Hell, fucking Minecraft is like one of the biggest video games of all time, and now like little kids have actually taken it over, which is sad to say because Minecraft used to be for like teenagers or older. Like we were the people who played that game, but then all of a sudden Xbox, like you could get Minecraft for your Xbox 360 or on your phone, and so now everybody who's like really young and young people, I should say, like they're like kids and stuff like that, are now playing it. Like that game of all time, of course, is good, and this pixelated. That game is meant to be pixelated, but of course, the game to the point here, I do not like the graphics in Infinite Warfare. I'm not comparing them to Minecraft or anything. Obviously, like for a Call of Duty game, they're way better graphics than if you compare them to Minecraft, because if they had Minecraft graphics, then I don't even know what game I'm even playing anymore. But the thing is that I am personally not a big fan of the graphics, especially what Infinity Ward does. I have never been a big fan of Infinity Ward's like textures or graphics they put into their Call of Duty games. If you compare Infinite Warfare to Black Ops 3, Black Ops 3 just looks absolutely beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, absolutely beautiful. I am impressed with Treyarch. Like, the very first time I played the beta on Black Ops 3, or when I was playing the beta anyway, I was just impressed that they did a great job with their textures and graphics. It seems like they just did an outstanding job. It was bright colors and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, Infinite Warfare wasn't like necessarily green, gray, and dark colors like we saw back in Call of Duty Ghosts. They did brighten it up a little bit, but the textures is something that they haven't changed. It's something they've always kept with, like, ever since like Modern Warfare 3 or something, and I don't like it. It's just not an appealing texture or graphics. They just don't appeal to me. And I remember looking at like early gameplay of Infinite Warfare way before we had the beta. It was like the campaign missions or something like that. When I first saw like campaign missions and stuff like that, I was looking at the gun, and the textures on the gun were just not detailed enough, and maybe they made that a little bit better now that we played the beta. But when I looked at some of the guns, they just did not look detailed enough. Now it looks like they seem like they did a better job now that I played the beta, which is good. But the textures, not just the guns you're holding and stuff like that, it's also everything else around you, the maps you're playing on, the people you look at, and all that kind of stuff. It just does not appeal to me. Like, just comparing it to Black Ops 3, what Treyarch has done with their graphics and stuff like that, it just does not appeal to me. I don't know why. The textures just don't appeal to me very well. And the next thing I just want to talk about, I'll just kind of move on here, are these spawns. And I think Infinity Ward has always had trouble trying to figure out good spawns for their maps. Now, of course, it also depends what maps they make. It depends what kind of map layout they create and how it flows and stuff like that. So the spawns can be a pretty tricky situation. Of course, spawns can never be perfect, but I have experienced some things in the beta where spawns have been absolutely terrible. For example, the map Terminal. So I'm kind of curious if they actually kept the exact same spawn points you would see in Terminal like you would see back in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. It looks the same. I think everywhere you spawn on the map Terminal for Infinite Warfare are the exact same spawns you see in the previous Call of Duty games, and I kind of wish they would change that in some of the locations, because you can get spawn trapped so easily on that map, like I've said before, and it seems like on other maps it does the same thing as well. I mean, it's not just getting spawn trapped that I'm talking about. I'm talking about spawning in the enemy's like enemy zone for like no reason. I've had many occasions where I would be playing domination, and then all of a sudden when I die, it would make me spawn on the enemy side of the flag, like where like their flag is captured, like where everyone on the enemy team is spawning, and I would like run to try and capture them. I'm thinking to myself, oh, there must be like too many teammates near their spawn, so they're probably gonna. So I assumed they flipped spawns, right? I assumed they went to our flag and we're starting to spawn their flag, but no, I was the only one who spawned on their side, on their flag, and no other teammates were there. I was the only one, and it just happened random occasions, and it just sucked because enemies were still spawning there too, and I would just die. Like, there was no way I would survive, and I thought their spawns were flipping, but they weren't, and so that's just something I really don't like. I really don't like the spawns. They kind of like make where you spawn is kind of unfair, but of course it also depends how the map flows and stuff like that too, so you got to remember that. But yeah, that's something I really didn't like. I didn't like spawning in enemy territory where there was like no way I could survive after I spawned or something like that. And the last thing I want to talk about here is a deatomizer strike. I think I said that nice. Is it called atomizer? It's like deatomizer strike. I don't know, but it's really what a deatomizer strike is. It's like a chem strike or a Moab or a tactical nuke. Mostly like a tactical nuke that we've seen in the previous Infinity Ward games, and I'm glad it's returned. I am pumped that we are able to actually go on a 25 kill streak and earn like a nuke and kill all the enemy players, and not to mention you can actually end the game when you set this off, which I think is awesome as well. But it would only end the game on like certain game modes like team deathmatch or kill confirm, but I think if it was like domination or not uplink but defender, it wouldn't end the game mode, which is kind of interesting. Now, the reason why I'm complaining about this, the reason why I'm putting this in my bad things list for Infinite Warfare, is because it's only on certain weapons. You can only get this deatomizer strike on certain weapons, and those are always on the legendary weapons. I haven't seen this available on epic weapons, which are the like most rarest weapons you can get. I've only seen it on the legendary weapons, and the worst part about this is it's only on certain weapons, and you can't get them for every single gun. Every single gun does not have a variant where you're able to get a deatomizer strike for that weapon, which I think is horrible, because like the reason why I do not like this is that, and from what I've seen in the beta, it seemed like there was only one weapon out of each class category, or maybe there was at least one or two weapons in each of the class categories where you could actually get deatomizer strike for that weapon. And so, like, let's say the NV4, which I think is the very first assault rifle, you can get a deatomizer strike with that. It's like a ability you will get on a legendary variant for that gun. Right, and if you get on a 25 kill streak, you get the gun. You get the, not the gun, but you get the kill streak. But if you were to use another assault rifle, that assault rifle does not have any variant where it has this option for the deatomizer strike, and you might actually like that weapon more than the NV4. Like, you do way better with the Wreck, I believe it is called, than you do with the NV4. And so in the deatomizer strike is not on the Wreck, even though you're better at that gun than the NV4, which I think is terrible. I really do not like that. I don't like how they don't have variants where the deatomizer strike is not on, because you might be better with that weapon than a weapon that is available to have this ability on it. And I just hate that so much, because that means you can't get this deatomizer strike for every single weapon in the game. It's only on certain weapons, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. That is something I think they did terribly wrong, and it just really bothers me that they did this, because I know there's some other guns that I liked using way more than other weapons that actually don't have this option for like some of the variants, and I'm just so disappointed by that. That really makes me upset. But yeah, that is all the things. Those are all the bad things I do not like about Infinite Warfare. Those are the bad things that I wish they could change, and perhaps maybe some of these things I will just slide by me when the game actually comes out, and I won't actually, they won't bother me anymore. Like, things could always change, of course. And of course, in my good things video talking about Infinite Warfare, some of those things might change as well. Like, some of them maybe I won't like later in the future. But yeah, you guys have heard all the things I do not like about Infinite Warfare so far. Now, I might have missed some things that I didn't think about at the spur of the moment, but I did write a list down of all the things I could think of, and I told you guys. And I would like to know your guys' thoughts on what you do not like about Infinite Warfare. Obviously, Infinite Warfare has been getting so much hate, like absolutely tremendous hate from the community, and I just really like to hear you guys' thoughts on why you don't like the game, because all I hear is people says it's trash. People don't really give good reasons. I even just watched a video before doing this commentary of why and why people why this guy didn't like it, and he some of the points he made were kind of good, but some of the other points were just kind of stupid. He wasn't even thinking, and I'd rather hear you guys think. I'd rather hear something you guys say in the comment section that you don't like about Infinite Warfare that actually makes sense and doesn't sound actually absolutely stupid. So anyway, please comment down below. I would love to read them, and I would love to reply to you guys. I love replying to everybody who replies to or whoever comments onto my videos. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a rating for if you guys feel this video deserves. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for Infinite Warfare content if you guys are interested in that, because I will be uploading that. But of course, we'll also have Modern Warfare Remaster content once the game comes out. I am very excited to play that game. It's going to be great. And also Battlefield 1 gameplay. That will probably be my next video, and a matter of fact, I'll probably be uploading Battlefield 1, which will be great. So I hope you guys all enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and leave a comment, and I shall catch you guys later.